Hi there. So I've set up Realistic FPS with Edys vehicle physics, and what I did is I took the FPS prefab sandbox that comes with Realistic FPS. I dragged in the L200 blue, this prefab right here. I also dragged in the camera controller. For the camera controller, I changed it to the camera to be untagged. Realistic FPS uses the main camera tag to figure out which camera to use, so I had to change this one right here. And also on the under the mesh colliders on the top one, I added the script that I created, and I added the tag usable. So if you don't add the tag usable and you forget to turn off change this tag, basically what will happen is the script's going to turn off on awake, so that you don't get a bunch of errors. So I assigned my camera controller, which is, I just grabbed this one. And basically what it'll do is when you enter the vehicle, it'll change this target to whatever vehicle you've entered. So if you had 5 vehicles in your scene, it'll change the target to the one that you just entered. I do have a spot for an exit position. Basically what you would do is you would create an empty game object underneath your vehicle, and you would place it right outside. If you forget to do that, it'll automatically create one for you. So you'll see if I hit play, notice I don't have an exit position. It's going to actually create one as a child under this L200. So you'll see there's the exit position right there. So if you walk over to the vehicle, you can get in. The thing is the vehicle will. So if I come over here to these AI, they're not going to see me because I'm not a player anymore. So I can hop out of the vehicle and then they'll see me. Yeah. So that's something that you'll probably want to change. But you can see I can drive the vehicle around. It doesn't damage anybody. So I didn't bother adding that, but that's definitely something that you can add. And that's about it. So the script is going to be on my website. It's very similar to the scripts that I set up with Ultimate FPS. It's got a couple changes because Realistic FPS has some specific pieces that go along with it. So you can either stop watching now and grab the script and play, or you can listen. So I try to set these scripts up so that you can basically learn from the scripts, and then hopefully you can kind of, add whatever it is that you want to add to it. So I always do my own namespace, and I put a note up here where you have to set the object tag to usable and ensure the vehicle camera, which is this one, is not tagged as main camera. I've got some variables for Edys, and I have this transform target. All these I'm automatically assigning them when we start. These are the only 2 public game objects, so your exit position and your vehicle camera. I've got tooltip set up. I've got a boolean set up for when you're either in or out of the vehicle. And then I'm grabbing the Realistic FPS components. Most of these we have to turn them on or turn them off. This body is visible, so when you set up your FPS player, you can, on this rigid body walker, you can either have a visible body or you can turn it off. So I'm just checking this boolean, and if this is on, I'm going to turn off this visible body when you get in the vehicle, and I'm going to turn it back on when you get out. If it's not on, then I'm just going to ignore it because it's already disabled. And then I have to grab the main camera because we've got to turn that. We've got to do some stuff on there. We got to handle the weapon camera and the weapon objects. We just got to toggle those on and off. On awake, I have some checks to see if you forgot to change the tag of the vehicle camera, and if you did, it's going to turn everything off, and it'll put a debug log to say that you need to change it. Also, it's going to disable it if you forget to make this object set to usable. Usable is something that's used within the FPS player. On the it's actually in the FPS player script. One of the items that it's looking for is if something is tagged as usable, it's going to call the activate object function. So I'm just using, I added the function here. We've got some things going on in start. Basically, you're disabling stuff and assigning things. This fixed update, the only time that this will work is if you're actually in the vehicle. So if you're in it and you hit the use button, you'll exit the vehicle. So this function right here is just going to sit there until the player walks up to it, is within whatever range this the interaction piece is set up as. And if you hit the function, if you hit the key for using, then you'll enter the vehicle and it'll change the boolean to true. And then I've got the inner vehicle stuff, which basically moves the player in the vehicle and turns them off. Turns off some camera stuff so that you don't have conflicting warning messages. You don't have a big error log going on. And then exit vehicle, it's opposite. Some of the things are in different order to get out of the vehicle. And I'm using, you'll see right here, I'm actually using some functions that are built in. This reset camera is part of, it's a function that's on, it comes with Edys vehicle physics. So I'm assigning the target of this, whatever vehicle you're in. And that's pretty much it. So if you kind of look through here, it's a good way to learn how to, do something like this. Alrighty, I hope that helps some people, and enjoy.